Yo, what is up, everybody? It is Riley's Redzone here, back with another 2020 NFL free agency grades. So I want you guys to make sure you subscribe right now to the channel and like this video. The goal is to get to 200 subscribers by 2021. So we still got a lot of time. The goal is to get to 200 subscribers, so I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe. So today we're doing the Carolina Panthers. Looking at who they added, they of course added quarterback Teddy Bridgewater from the New Orleans Saints. And I think it was a good move. The one thing I didn't like about it is sort of the Cam Newton situation. I do believe that Teddy is a better quarterback than Cam Newton. I'm not saying they should have kept Cam Newton, but to me what they should have done is tried to trade Cam Newton before they signed Teddy Bridgewater. So the timing of it was not good. But I like the contract number. Obviously, they're committing to him. I like that. I know, as you'll see later down in the list here, a lot of people think P.J. Walker could compete for it, but no, Teddy is the starting quarterback. So for a starting quarterback, they got it for a decent value, so like $21.5 million. So that's a good deal. Robby Anderson is a guy that I saw a lot of people think he was gonna get a higher dollar amount, but for 2 years he's got experience with Coach Rule. For $20 million, I'd say that's a pretty good signing. It's interesting how many receivers they signed this offseason. As you can see here, they signed 4 receivers, and that's without counting Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore, and other guys too they have for depth, but I like this signing. Stephen Weatherly was a guy who, to me, is interesting that they're bringing in to be a starter. He was good in Minnesota when he replaced Everson Griffin, but he's never really been a full-time starter, and they're really committing to him. You know, he's going to be a starting defensive end, so we'll see what happens there. I think I like Weatherly as a player. That's why I have it as a positive grade, but not fully sold on him. This one I did not like at all. Right now, Justin Burris is a former corner. He's played for the Jets and the Browns. Not great to me. And they come out and sign this guy within the first 2 days of free agency, you know, and he's going to be a starting safety for them, a starting safety, which I don't agree with at all. Obviously, they had a big need, so they signed somebody, but I really disagree with that, and I don't think he's a starter caliber, so I did not like that one at all. John Miller, I was going to give a lower grade, but realizing he's going to be, right now, their starting guard, and maybe even their best guard, unless they put Greg Little at guard as well, who's a tackle. So I like this one for $4 million to be a starting guard. It's good for them to pick up John Miller, who's been with the Bills and the Bengals, so I like that one. Seth Roberts is a good player, but once again, I don't know why they're adding so many receivers, especially when multiple of them can play in the slot. So I don't know, he's going to be their 4th wide receiver, so that's a decent amount for a 4th wide receiver. So I like Seth Roberts, the player. Don't love the fit here. As I sort of mentioned in the Cardinals video, I thought they should have re-signed Zach Kerr. So Zach Kerr is a great deal here for 2 years, $3 million. I love that deal. Tahir Whitehead is another nice prove-it deal for a guy who's played for the Lions and the Raiders, starting outside linebacker, or he can maybe play some inside linebacker for them. I really like that one at $2.5 million to be a starting linebacker, so I give that one an A. Pharaoh Cooper, as someone pointed out in the comments, you know, I think I underrated him maybe a little in the Cardinals video, but once again, why are they signing so many receivers? Like, I understand the Robby Anderson one with the Temple connection, as you'll see in the bottom. I believe Keith Kirkwood went to Temple as well, but why are they signing so many receivers, you know, when they already had 2 for sure good ones? So I don't know why. Seth DeValve, I like it just because it's cheap and he's experienced. He's played for the Browns and the Jags, so I like the dollar amount and can bring in some competition to that tight end room. P.J. Walker, I give it an A+ because it's 2-year, $1.6 million. That's like a league minimum contract for a guy who obviously succeeded in the XFL. We'll see what he does in the NFL. He'll be a backup probably, but he has experience with Coach Rule at Temple. So if there's any landing spot that he could have gone to, it's probably here that he would have the most success. And then, like I said, Keith Kirkwood, I don't know the dollar amount, and that's why I didn't grade it, because once again, why are they adding so many receivers? You know, like, if you're paying a dude to be your 5th or 6th receiver a decent amount, I don't like that at all. So I didn't rate that one just because we don't have the contract details yet. Besides, we know it's a 1-year deal. Looking at their losses, once again, on this channel, I count cuts as losses because it's very unlikely that you see a guy cut and then re-sign. If a team declines an option, it's very much realistic that they re-sign him to a cheaper deal. But when you straight up cut a player, it's very unlikely that you'd bring him back. So James Bradberry, obviously a good player. Now they have a huge need at corner. They only have Dante Jackson that's any good. But the Giants paid a lot for him. So given that price, the Panthers were fine to let him go. I'm surprised they're paying that much for a guy who, to me, is a decent number 2, but they're paying him like a number 1 corner. Cam Newton, obviously they cut. They're not bringing him back. Once again, I just think they handled that situation really badly. They should have tried to trade Cam Newton, and if nobody wanted him, fine, then just let him go. But to not only not try to trade him before you sign Teddy Bridgewater, and then to do the whole video on Instagram saying goodbye when he's still on the roster. So, I don't know what happened there. And then he was denying that he didn't want to be traded and that he loves Carolina. So, to me, they just handled that situation very badly. Mario Addison, once again, I sort of mentioned in the last video. To me, that's a lot of money, so they were fine to let him go. He's a good edge rusher, but that's a lot of money. Gerald McCoy is an interesting one. They let him and Dontari Poe go at defensive line, and Vernon Butler, so they had a huge need of defensive tackle. They let 3 of them walk. And Dontari Poe, I don't know the numbers to that one. And Vernon Butler went to Buffalo as well, as we mentioned last episode. So, looking at the numbers, they probably could have re-signed one of them, I would have guessed, but they let go of all 3, so that's their decision. Greg Van Roten, I think they should have tried to bring him back here. Now they have a huge need at guard, and the Jets were able to sign him to a deal worth 3 years and $10.5 million. They could have gotten that, in my opinion, so I think they should have tried to re-sign him, but they didn't. Greg Olsen was a cut who ended up signing with the Seahawks. Would have been nice to keep him, but given the cap, I guess they wanted cap space, so that was their decision. Darrell Williams, like I mentioned last episode, the contract details just came out when I recorded that last one, so I really like that deal for Buffalo. I think that the Panthers could have looked into it because he could play right guard for them right now. So, Bruce Irvin, same thing, don't know the contract details, but he's going back to Seattle. They signed him out of nowhere, so they don't need to bring him back. Marcus Baugh, same thing. I guess he valued Ron Rivera more than anybody else, so he goes to the Redskins on a really cheap deal. So if they were interested in him, they probably could have signed him back, but he cared more about being with Coach Rivera, I think. And then they cut 2 safeties, Eric Reed and Colin Jones, to get some cap space. So they have a huge need at safety, and they signed Justin Burris, who I do not like as a starting safety. One thing to keep the video quick here is they only re-signed DeAndre White, and I don't even know the dollar amount. And that's why I didn't rate it. I probably would rate it pretty low, because like I said, they have so many receivers. Right now, I would think that DeAndre White is their 6th or 7th, maybe even their 8th best receiver. So, why are they signing so many receivers? I don't know. It's always good to have depth in this league, but why spend money on it? So, he might even get cut, so I'm not even rating that one. Okay, guys that are still available for them, Ross Cockrell, to me they should bring back. They have such a need at corner still that I think they need to bring him back for some depth. Even if he isn't great, they just need depth. Jarius Wright declined the option. So at this point, like I said, with all the receivers, just let him and Chris Hogan go. You already have so many receivers. The D tackles, Kyle Love and Stacy McGee, bring him back maybe because of who you let go. Same with Javier Elliott, maybe bring him back at corner because of who you let go, and just they need corners. Tackle / tight end, Dylan Gordon, never really been a fan of his, so to me you can let him go. Brandon Green and Kid O'Brien, once again, bring one of them back at least. You need some guard help. And that's what I'm going to cover here. Your biggest needs, these are positions that they let guys go in all 3, so you almost have to just replace what you lost. So corner, I'm not even going to go over the whole list, but you see them there. They need a corner badly. Dante Jackson is a good player. I don't know if I'd consider him a cornerback 1, but that might be what they have to go with. really don't know what else to say. They just need cornerback badly. So, guard, same thing right now. So they'd have John Miller, who isn't a great starter. He's a low-end starter. And then they'd either play Greg Little, who was out of Ole Miss last season, who plays tackle, and move him to guard. Or, to me, they should just get somebody, because otherwise, gonna have like a no-namer. So bring one of these guys in. I specifically like maybe Michael Schofield as a good fit for this team. So defensive tackle as well. They let go of, looking at that, right? If you count the 2 remaining free agents, they let go of 5. They let go of Dontari Poe. They let go of Gerald McCoy. They let go of Vernon Butler, and then Kyle Love and Stacy McGee are both free agents. So I think they just need to bring more in. Like I said, I love the Zach Kerr signing, but they can bring in more depth there. So bring in one of those guys that I have listed down there. I liked maybe Margus Hunt, but just bring in somebody. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Once again, the Panthers, they made some good moves here. Very confused on why they signed so many receivers. I didn't like how they handled the Cam Newton situation. And they didn't seem to replace a bunch of positions with good players that they let go. But I like some of the moves they made. I like the Teddy Bridgewater. I like Robby Anderson. I love the Zach Kerr and the Tahir Whitehead signing. And, of course, P.J. Walker. I thought that was a great value. So, I think they did pretty well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Once again, make sure you subscribe and come back to the channel to watch more of these. And also, just check out the playlist if you want to see the past ones I've done recently. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.